What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what's causing so much volatility and what might be coming next. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that said, let's get right to it. Currently, SoFi is down 1.45%. Pretty crappy day all in all. I think there was a lot of optimism when it came down to just the broader market as well as SoFi first thing, and that was due to 𝗪𝗓𝗡𝗘𝗧. And obviously the correlation with that is last time 𝗪𝗓𝗡𝗘𝗧 came out, kind of posted, SoFi and many other stocks that are heavily shorted started just to go up and squeeze. So I think the anticipation was it was going to happen again, but lo and behold, here we are just selling off. So you had it kind of trying to break out. So 699 was the high. So that's a very strong resistance, as I've been stating. Plus the $7 mark right here, as you can kind of see, is starting to grow for the week of June the 7th. So this week in particular. You do currently have 21,000 in open interest at that $7 strike price, 13 at the 750, 11 at the 8. And in fact, you're actually starting to see it increase at the 650. So right now, 3,000 at that, and then 4,000 at that 6. So anticipating there's obviously a little bit more of an additional push, wanting SoFi to be below now 650. So this just isn't good by any means. Obviously, I think it was long past due, the fact that SoFi constantly trying to get above that $7 mark. Eventually, it does have a very deep retracement. And this is at the same time why you do see the Elliott wave technicals pointing to kind of lower lows. So it has a pivot point of $7.42. So for as long as SoFi is below that, then it is anticipated to hit the kind of mid to high fives. So I don't know, that's kind of extreme if you ask me, but nonetheless, that's typically what does happen based on the technicals whenever you keep on bouncing off of either a strong support or resistance without failing to get above that, right? There's only limited amount of buying that could happen. So this is kind of the byproduct of that, another failed resistance attempt. So it is kind of getting pulled down with the broader market. This right here is abnormal because that's actually true institutions selling out. So far, the low is about $6.79. So definitely not the best chain of events. No SEC filings as of today, but there was PR, as you can kind of see right here, and that is SoFi appoints Stephen Simcock as general counsel. So good stuff, good announcement. Is it a reason to buy SoFi? No. Is it a reason to sell? No, it's kind of just fluff stuck there, right? So it's, I think just the broader market is just stuck in limbo. Same goes for SoFi. Shorts, though, are increasing a small amount, 38,000 shares. 17.63% of the free float is being shorted. That works out to be 183.1 million shares overall are being shorted. Utilization 75.03. Cost of borrow average very low in comparison to yesterday, so 0.69%. And you see this back at it again. So cost of borrow minimum is 0.2. Meaning a broker out there is physically paying people to short SoFi. So you got a lot of manipulation all the time. SoFi failing to get above resistance points, and this is kind of where you get SoFi just trending down. Options wise, 1.92 million in calls so far today, 947 in puts. Very evenly divided though, based on calls and puts, but probably a lot of the calls that are being purchased are linked to the shorts that are increasing. That way they can kind of hedge. And like I've said in the past, this is kind of the vicious cycle of shorting, because what shorts do to really hedge in case SoFi does go up is they buy calls, right? Because let's say SoFi goes up to $8, well, they're covered at the $7 strike price. But at the same time, market makers don't want SoFi to be above those very strong, I guess, resistance levels or strike prices. So they also short it. So it's a very stupid cycle that SoFi is in. And I do feel that probably these lows do actually have to hit in order for true value investors to get into SoFi. So something to kind of consider. Let me know your thoughts on that. These are some of the transactions that have occurred so far today. So a lot of big transactions, somewhat, nothing crazy high in excess of 1 million. So it's been quiet for that. But it's just falling back down onto the technicals, like I said. So it's just a very unfortunate chain of events. But moving on from here though, on the actual chart itself, this is where it is full breakdown mode. So it is lower percentile of the Bollinger Band, stochastic. Even though it is considered oversold, you are seeing a very bearish deviation as well. Number of retail investors have been getting out. And I know every time I do this, you also have to factor in that I cover stocks. I do not fall in love with stocks. I like stocks, but I'm not going to ever be a diehard, like I need to devote my life to this. So I know I've done this twice in the past. Again, I get shit on every single time, but I actually did sell some SoFi today because I just, it just failing to get above another resistance level. It just, no bueno, not good at all. So I did sell about 40% in the past. I've done like a large sum, so like 80+%. This time around, I only sold 40% of my position, and that was at $6.85. So it's not the best. If it does get anywhere close to the Elliott wave technicals, this is where I'll quadruple my position based on that. But right now the technicals are broken. The stock is like the fundamentals itself are just not staying at these ranges anymore. So I think there was a lot of optimism. A lot of people are very hopeful about SoFi, but this definitely does not look good. So let me know your thoughts on SoFi. I know this wasn't probably what you wanted to hear, that I did sell, but you guys do your own due diligence, right? If you do believe in SoFi at these prices, then take advantage. If not, then swing trade, right? That's what I typically like to do. I have a good amount, or at least I have in the past, long positions, and then I just kind of swing trade, rotate in and out, and it is what it is, right? Like sometimes good stocks just don't perform all that well. And SoFi 100% meets that criteria based on all the earnings. Like they hit home runs all the time, but the level of manipulation that is just surrounding SoFi, it's relentless, and I don't know what is going to really resolve that unless there is another significant pullback, like I said, to really incentivize outside of the box buyers. So other than market makers or BlackRock, like any of the big entities in it. So I'll give you a quick overview of who they are and what I'm kind of talking on. So this is the current ownership for SoFi. So institutions currently own 443.08 million shares. So a lot of these players right here are good, but as I've said, a lot of them are toxic, such as Vanguard, BlackRock. They have an enormous amount of shares of SoFi, and they all do lend out their shares. So we always wonder, how could there be so much shorts? Well, lo and behold, here you go. You are probably wanting to have a lot of the lower names right here that don't necessarily lend out their shares, that are more long investors. That is what you want. And probably they won't be getting in unless there is a lot of good value in SoFi. And one way to have that is a price sell off. So I know it does suck for me to say that, but I think that's the only option that SoFi is going to pretty much make any progress in. So let me know your thoughts, and if you disagree, or what have you been doing on the side note with SoFi. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with all that, appreciate all of you watching.